Here's the thing about bad habits. We wouldn't do them if there wasn't a reward. And a lot of times we're like, well, that's stupid because there's no reward for blah, blah, blah. But there's something. Like, we wouldn't behave badly if there wasn't some hook, if there wasn't some sort of reward, even if we're not honest about what the reward is. Bad habits can happen more quickly because there's this reward already built in, or we wouldn't be doing it. So the idea with bad habits is, first of all, like, figure out which one you don't want to do. When did it start? Why did it start, if you can figure that out? And what are you getting from it? That's the hard part, because it's so hard to be self-honest. And sometimes we really don't know. Like, sometimes the subconscious is a little messed up. It's hard to really get in there and figure it out, but sometimes we can. We get these whispers of truth. So if you can figure out like what you're kind of getting from it, that can be helpful. But you don't need it to get rid of the bad habit. It's just helpful. People have all of these statistics about how long it takes to form a new habit or get rid of an old habit. And honestly, like, they've done some research, and the average might be a certain amount, but it depends on how embedded the habit is or how hard the habit is to create. But it can be anywhere from like 20 days to like 285 days, they say. So don't beat yourself up if you're trying to create a habit that you really believe in that's a little bit harder and it's taking a while. Like, if you continue to do it, it will become a habit. And try not to like judge it on like 20 days I should have this. Why is this still hard for me? Like, give up those random days and just keep focusing on your habits. There's sort of 3 ways that you can go about breaking a bad habit or a habit that you don't like. One is going cold turkey, which is what I'm doing with alcohol for the year. It's just like no alcohol, period. And then there's also like just cutting back, so doing it sort of gradually. So like if you're a smoker and you smoke 2 packs a day, so then you're gonna go like 1 pack a day, you know, and sort of gradually wean yourself. Another way is replacing the behavior with something good. So, and I think you can do that too, is like you can go cold turkey, or you can gradually wean off and then start replacing with good things. So with alcohol, I have now filled up the fridge with like yummy drinks. You know, I love like flavored soda water, which are decently healthy, right? So I'm drinking those. If I'm gonna go to a party or if I'm gonna throw a party, I have all these recipes now for mocktails because I wanna hold in my hand something yummy to drink and feel like I'm at a party with alcohol, even though I'm not. So basically, you can do cold turkey, but have something to replace it with. And if you're weaning off, then start as you're weaning off, replacing at the same time. Okay, when you wanna break a bad habit, from Atomic Habits, they talk about like there's 4 things that you can do to kind of get rid of that habit, to break it, get it out of your life. The first way is making it invisible. So what does that mean? So for me, when I decided I'm not gonna drink for the year, I'm not having any alcohol in the house, and my poor husband is like, sorry, dude, like, you're gonna have to go to your friend's house if you want to drink. Because if there's wine in the house, like, that is just too, I love wine, like, that's too enticing for me. So not having any available, not seeing any, making it invisible is going to help me so much more. If you're a smoker and you want to quit smoking, being careful of who you hang out with, like, maybe not hanging out with smokers as much. Obviously not going out on a break when someone's gonna smoke, so that you're not around smoking anymore. It's invisible. So the less you see it, the easier it will be for you not to do that. So the second way that they talk about is making that habit really unattractive. So, and kind of phrasing who you think you are more specifically. So like if you were a smoker, instead of saying like, I'm trying to quit smoking, saying, I'm not a smoker. There's a very big difference between I'm trying to quit smoking, because basically your subconscious is saying like, I'm a smoker and I'm really trying not to be, but I am still. And by you saying, I'm not a smoker, that really lets your subconscious know, and whoever's talking to you, that you don't smoke, you don't participate in that. That is not who you are. The other idea too is like, if it helps you, some people are visual, some people are not, but like visualizing yourself as a smoker and making that unattractive visually, and then visualizing yourself as someone who doesn't smoke, that's not who you are, and making that visually attractive like in your head when you're thinking about these things, so that your mind wants to keep gravitating toward this habit, which is, the habit is you're not a smoker. So breaking that habit. So making it as unattractive as you possibly can. So the third way is make it difficult. And I feel like in some ways making it invisible is making it difficult because I can't find it, it's not around. But also telling everybody that this is my goal, like to have a dry year. It's gonna be harder, more difficult for me to take that glass of wine because I know I'm gonna have to tell you guys, and that's not gonna feel good. That makes it difficult emotionally for me. So coming up with ways that it's just, because the thing about habits is they're easy. They're so easy. So figuring out ways that they're not so easy anymore, and that might help stop you before you go to do that habit. So the fourth way, and it kind of all ties in, but it's to make it unsatisfying, because we wouldn't do the habit if it was unsatisfying. So how do you create unsatisfying things? So this goes back to, like, if let's say you chew your nails, right? And you want to stop doing that. Like, they've created nail polish that's bitter. So if you go to bite your nails, it tastes awful. Oh. It's really unsatisfying. Your brain goes, ugh, I don't want to bite my nails. That's not what I remember it tasting like. Like, don't do it. That's unsatisfying. If you smoke, some people, they switch to a brand they don't like, a flavor, like a menthol or whatever, a flavor they don't like. So when they go to smoke, it's unsatisfying. And it's teaching your brain, like, oh, this isn't what I thought it was. Like, this is seriously unsatisfying. I don't want to do it anymore. So tricking your brain, teaching your brain that this habit is no longer going to serve you, and therefore you don't have to do it. So those are kind of some tips and tricks about how do you create good habits, how do you get rid of bad habits, and those are all important when you go, like, you look at your New Year's resolutions or these big goals. Sometimes the only way to attain these big goals is to start creating these atomic habits that will help build and make them successful.